In this video, I'll be talking about the Open Network for Digital Commerce or ONDC. India is keen to level the playing field for e-commerce operators and widen the digital market access for millions of small businesses and traders in the country. To this end, the government has established the Open Network for Digital Commerce or ONDC as an alternative to platform aggregators like Amazon and Walmart owned Flipkart and many more like these who have actually kind of monopolized India's e-commerce landscape. One of the top government documents said that two large multinational players are controlling more than half of the country's e-commerce trade, limiting access to the market and giving preferential treatment to some sellers and squeezing the supplier margins. So this Open Network for Digital Commerce or ONDC is a network based on open protocol, and it will enable local commerce across segments such as mobility, grocery, food order and delivery, hotel booking and travel and various other segments. We first need to understand what is this open source network means. Open source means which is publicly accessible, that is anybody can access, modify and distribute the code. For example, Apple iOS is a closed source operating system, which means it cannot be legally modified and distributed. But Google's Android is an open source operating system, which means any original equipment manufacturer or OEMs can modify and distribute their own version or variation of Android operating system, and which has been done by some smartphone OEMs like Samsung, Xiaomi and OnePlus. To explain more about the use of open source with a common process is UPI payments. Unified Payment Interface or UPI is an instant real-time payment system developed by National Payments Corporation of India or NPCI, facilitating interbank, peer-to-peer and person-to-merchant transactions. Now all the payment apps and instruments like GPay, Paytm, BeamPay, JioMoney and many others are based on this UPI payment system. In similar way, can we think of an open source network and common process for e-commerce to deal with multinational players' monopoly problem? Answer is yes. And the solution is Open Network for Digital Commerce or ONDC. The current e-commerce system is platform-centric. That means for completing any transaction, the buyer and the seller has to use a common platform or a website or a marketplace. Now, as a buyer or a consumer, if you have installed some marketplace or some application, or if you are using a specific marketplace or a specific platform, then you can search and you can do the purchase of any products from the sellers which are registered and associated with that platform or marketplace. If your desired product is not listed on the platform which you are using, then you have to switch to a different platform for a product. Likewise, you have to install and you need to have access to multiple platforms and applications, and you have to keep searching for your product at different marketplaces. And that's why I said that platform-centric e-commerce trade is resulting into limiting access to the market and giving preferential treatment to some sellers and squeezing the supplier margins. With platform-centric marketplaces, there are multiple entry barriers for small businesses, small sellers and small retailers, and because of which there are big number of small businesses and small sellers and small retailers from tier 2 and tier 3 cities which are not getting the benefit of digital platform and e-commerce platforms. So in the current situation, sellers and even the buyers have limited options available to promote their products and to buy the products. And the big e-commerce players like Amazon and Flipkart, because of their customer base, trusted technologies, they define their own processes, they define their own rules which needs to be followed if you want to be part of their network. There are many allegations in recent past, like these big e-commerce players charges different commission structures which reduces the profit margins, and they give special treatment to some preferred sellers like showing their listings at the top, etc. So in short, currently maximum benefits of the commerce and digital platforms is getting encashed by the big players and very less benefits for small businesses and MSMEs. So the Open Network for Digital Commerce ONDC is moving it from platform-centric model to an open network model. This proposed government-backed platform aims to create a level playing field for e-commerce. So the platform will also be compliant with the Information Technology Act 2000 and designed for compliance with the emerging Personal Data Protection Bill. The Commerce and Industry Ministry of India has launched a pilot ONDC project on 29th of April 2022 in 5 cities: Delhi NCR, Bengaluru, Bhopal, Shillong and Coimbatore, and it is expected that it will replicate the success of other projects like AADHAR and UPI. Important question is how this ONDC will work. Consider you are a seller and you have listed your products on some online store. May not be a prime digital marketplace, say at Sellpoint Marketplace, which is a local marketplace with limited sellers in your region. Consider any buyer, and suppose buyer has installed some payment application like GPay or Paytm, and both Sellpoint and Paytm are connected with ONDC. So whenever any buyer will search for your product on Paytm, the buyer will view your listings and directly purchase it from you. So all sellers with their own applications and local marketplaces can get connected with ONDC, and all buyers and their applications also will be connected with ONDC. That also means it is not necessary that the seller app and the buyer app has to be same. Through this platform, consumers can potentially discover any seller, product or service by using any ONDC compatible application or platform, thus increasing the freedom of choice for consumers. A number of established companies are already integrated with ONDC. Even several e-commerce majors including Flipkart, Reliance Retail and Amazon are planning to join ONDC. Flipkart's logistic arm eCart and Reliance Retail bag Dunzo have already integrated with ONDC for logistic services. PhonePe, which is also owned by Flipkart and Walmart, is joining the network and is in advanced stages of integration. Paytm is already part of ONDC network. It is expected to digitize the entire value chain, standardize the operations, promote inclusion of more suppliers, derive efficiencies in logistics and enhance value for consumers. So this platform aims to create new opportunities, curb digital monopolies by supporting micro, small and medium enterprises and small traders and help them get on the online platforms. As I have already mentioned, the ONDC is already running its pilot program in 5 cities. The network is currently in beta testing phase with just 5 sellers onboarded and a limited set of buyers from these 5 cities. But the network aims to increase its presence in about 100 cities by August 2022. Only time will tell how this change will be accepted by our digital ecosystem.